We're live. We're not even going to say it anymore. We're just going to go. We're just going to flow. Just like, hey.
So what are we going to talk about tonight, Matt?
We're talking about the bullshit going on in Afghanistan right now, honestly.
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
5-week delay here.
6 weeks. Get it right.
I'm sorry. And TJ, you're back tonight. Thank you.
TJ's been here. I just haven't been here.
Well, I know. And we can't figure out how to do this crap without you.
Speak into the mic.
Sorry about that.
There you go. Oh, my God. We can actually hear you.
I feel better now.
I think I just smelt what you had for dinner.
Filet. 3-day-old filet.
I couldn't eat the other one the other night. We had lobster tail. We had lobster tail, ribs, and potatoes, and asparagus, and...
Hey, we're about to talk about Afghanistan. Let's not rub it into the Afghani people who are over there.
Actually,
fighting for their lives right now about eating lobster.
It's crazy. Well, yeah, they are landlocked, but they actually eat pretty good over there. They really do.
Oh, no, I don't. The only problem is right now they're running for their lives.
Yeah, but I mean, if you haven't tried a cockroach on a stick, then you need to.
Were you in Afghanistan?
I was.
So, a personal experience with you over there.
Mm-hmm.
And how long ago was it that you were over there?
2016.
2016. So
2016, 2017.
So, as an insider that has probably the most about being over there, what would you? How would you? What's the word I'm looking for? How would you describe what the?
They were actually pretty cool, honestly. They wanted to help out as much as they could, and they were willing to learn anything and everything.
Well, and the reason why I ask is there's a lot of reports coming out, and you're seeing a lot of videos that are being broadcasted, not just by guys that were in our military, but also in the allies that were over there, talking about how a lot of the guys in the Afghan army were very low IQ, that these were the degenerates or the rejects of the villages in that area that were actually brought in, and one, they were the highest paid military army per person, getting paid more than our guys were. And there was actually one guy who said that if we had to do a mission, we knew we had to run it on a Thursday, because on a Friday when they got paid, they would disappear and they'd be out smoking hashish and all this other shit.
That sounds like America, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like when you work for Ford.
I'll tell you this: the guys that I got a chance to meet, are actually very smart. Sorry, very, very smart, very well spoken. And a lot of people think that because we're different cultures, we're completely different people.
We're actually not, are we?
And no, not at all. And the thing is like you have teenagers together, you're going to act like a bunch of teenagers. Like, you're still going to think dicks are funny. You're still going to think farts are funny. It's that kind of, you just speak a different language.
Right.
But once you actually get to know them and everything and what they're about, it's actually, they're pretty similar to us. And I saw a video the other day of, it was a commander against like one of their lowest level soldiers. The commander was ordering him to give up his weapon, and he goes, "No, I'm not going to." He goes, "I'm fighting against the Taliban. I've been fighting against the Taliban. This is how it's going to stay. I'm not turning any leaves just because they took over. I'm still going to fight for what's right." So,
and they did say that the Afghani elite special forces are the ones that went with the vice president Sully up to the northern. That's where they're of course putting together their campaign to fight the Taliban. But from reports that we get from the guys that were, I guess, that were deep in the trenches, as far as their military capabilities, that, yes, you had the ones that were gung-ho about actually standing up for the country and fighting, and you had some that were just there for a paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, but that's everywhere, though. I mean, you probably had guys when you worked at the tire shop who were just there for a paycheck, who really didn't give two fucks about what they were doing. Just like when I was in the military, we had guys who were just there because, they got health benefits, college, and they got money. It was a guaranteed paycheck. So you're always going to have that. No matter what job you're in or where you're at or anything like that, it's always going to be those types of people there. And granted, those are the people that everyone else is going to look down on. And I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right, but you will always have those people there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to a sense, but the one thing that I think I take a little bit difference is, one thing with our guys who go to the military, we have guys that go into the military that are like that. They're there for the paycheck and for the career, for the benefits. But they also know that they're fighting for their country, and they very well could die the next day.
What about Snowden?
Snowden? Oh, what do I think about him?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like you have people like Snowden, right?
Yeah.
Who are there for a paycheck, and then they're like, oh, I can make even more money selling out secrets. Like.
But we can name on probably two hands the amount of American soldiers that have done that in 20 years.
You can do more than two hands, I guarantee you that.
Well, I mean,
you can do a lot more than two hands.
But we're talking about 1,000 that has been diminished down to 20, 30,000.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a lot of people going, yeah, you know what?
But I mean, you're also at that point you're fearing for your life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's a completely different aspect
but it's
from
not
when
like
you're fearing at your life.
My thing is, our soldiers know. I mean, they deal with that fear. We run into battle. We don't run away from it.
Well, some do, some don't.
The majority of us do.
You think. A lot of us don't. You think about it. What's the fine for abandoning or going AWOL in the U.S. military?
You're talking about Bo Birdog, aren't you?
No.
What's the fine for it? Like what is the penalty for going AWOL in the military? U.S. military.
I thought it was going to Fort Bragg
or desertion. If you get desertion, then it's you do prison time.
It's prison time. AWOL, desertion, anything.
Yeah.
What happens over there? We don't know. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it could just be like a slap on the wrist for them. That's why they all left.
But that's
because
what I'm saying.
You're fearing for your life.
Okay, but at the same time, when you're going into when you're stretching over into that world, the way I look at it is too. We were in charge over there of training that army and making sure that they were capable of taking care of themselves. And we should not have pulled out until they were able to do that. So if we knew that these people had no consequences for leaving and we were paying them higher than any other military person in the world to be there, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like hiring somebody who's deaf and blind to build me a car.
Who signed the treaty?
Huh?
Who signed the treaty to pull off?
Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was also contingencies.
What were the contingencies? Because I guarantee you there's contingencies that are the way that we pulled out and the way that Trump signed the whole deal was absolutely horseshit. But I want to hear what you think the contingencies are or what you know.
No U.S. citizen would be either threatened or injured. This is where I'm going to say there's a stark contrast, okay, to say we signed a treaty, we told them we were going to pull out upon contingencies, then just coming out and saying, all right, let's pull everybody out right now, but let's not do it strategically. Let's not have a plan. Let's shut down Bagram Air Force Base, which was actually a better location if you wanted to evacuate people because they had more than one runway.
Kabul, yeah. No.
So
you
see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying I'm not against.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So I also want you to understand that leave weapons, vehicles behind, and we had to leave certain, which is why we left Bagram Air Base, right? Which is our most strategic air base in Afghanistan, right or wrong.
Yes.
Right? So we left equipment behind, we left radars, we left weapons, tanks, Humvees, everything like that. And then we went to a civilian airport. Now, granted, absolutely horseshit. The way that it was done could have been done way better. I think a monkey with a crayon could have done it better.
Yeah, but hold on one second, though. One thing, because I think people will get a little bit confused about this. When you look at the treaty that Pompeo signed or that had an agreement with the Taliban, that treaty wasn't for us to leave weapons to the Taliban and to leave Humvee tanks.
No, it wasn't. It was to leave it behind.
It was to leave it behind for the Afghan army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what it was meant to be.
All right,
so if you knew for an exact fact that they won that the Taliban wasn't keeping up on their end, and they had already broke the treaty by I think January or February before even we were supposed to pull out. They already broke the treaty. So then we turn around. So if we're supposed to still hold up our end when they're not holding up their end. So then it comes.
I want you to also look at that. Well, okay, so I get what people are thinking, right? You have to kind of follow their actions as kind of a reactive instead of a proactive.
The problem was we switched administrations right in the middle of this.
Yes,
that's the problem.
And I completely agree with that and understand that. But the way that it was done was absolute horseshit. I will not fret from that. But I also want to say that you also don't know what they're facing over there because if over here for desertion and AWOL you're just facing prison time, over there you could be facing the death penalty. So you're terms or die at the hands of the Taliban.
And the thing that you gotta look at is if there's no way that our top brass and the intelligence that we have, and some of them are even coming out against what's happened. There's no way you have those guys around you all the time, and you come up and you make this decision.
Okay, but hold on. Let's just stop for a second. I mean, let's but stop. But let's look how the country's going right now. Our country, as its own pertains, right?
This is where you need that toilet bowl flushing noise on the thing.
No, I don't, because this is
down the toilet.
Well, it is, because the high prices, the inflation, and everything else. We talked about that earlier before we went live, right? Didn't we talk about that before we went live?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I mean, you know what? I agree with what you said about the way we left and who signed the agreement.
Booyah. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, because I'll test that theory. What is it that you agree with?
I think Trump signed a bad deal with them. I think
Do you know what? Hold on. Do you know what was in the deal?
Yeah, they were supposed to let.
Were you actually listening?
I mean,
no.
See,
you just said no.
So you're going to sit there and tell me you agree with him that it was a bad deal, and you can't name one thing that was in the deal.
Actually,
speechless.
Bazinga.
I'm fucked on that.
Yes, you are, sir.
I guess I need to start watching the news. I'm glad you two do.
You need to start listening, man. You got headphones on for a reason.
What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Hold on, let me hit this pin again. Holy smokes.
That's the problem right
yeah,
there.
right there. You're stoned out of your mind. You got a monkey playing cymbals in your head.
I do.
Sometimes it's just a bird chirping noise. You tell it. He looks off into the days.
Honestly, I think it's just like a mental room in his head with nobody in there, just the padded walls. That's all it is.
No, it's not. It's reruns of Married with Children that are just, he's caught up in it. It's right there.
I think he was watching it yesterday when I dropped off some stuff.
I was, actually. I'm not even going to lie to you. I just can't watch TV anymore. I mean, not the new shows and everything else they're crap to me. I mean, you got The Bachelor. All it is a bunch of sluts going around having sex with each other. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, we can watch porn for that. I mean, that's basic. It's just Bachelor's like softcore.
Yeah,
porn.
but that's not like Bachelor with like your family. You can't watch porn with your family.
I wouldn't want my kids watching that. Would you? I mean, honestly.
The Bachelor?
You're 87 years old. You're not going to have any kids.
Would you let your kids watch The Bachelor?
Depends on how old my kids were.
Okay.
I mean, there's a difference. I mean, you got to remember. I mean, look at the shit we watched growing up. The Bachelor is not all that bad. It's just
Bachelor is nowhere near compared to Robot Chicken.
Exactly.
Or Family Guy.
Celebrity Deathmatch.
I think Seth MacFarlane's an awesome writer. But going back to what we were talking about, I'm sorry we veered off.
Yes, back into Afghanistan.
But my point is, if you look at the way the United States is going, do you think? And then everybody pulling out of Afghanistan, right? I mean, isn't it going the same way that our country's going? Isn't it? Isn't it just a big long circle that we? Hopefully, by next year, we vote the Democrats out of office.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that
this
is going to be hung on the Democrats' head. I mean, they're in power, and if you look at what they're doing, it's crazy. You know, this is the thing. You know, and a lot of people bring up Trump and Pompeo made the agreement. Well, you know what? That's fine. So you, as the president of the United States, reverse everything Trump's done, but you leave this one thing in there, and because it sounds like a good idea to leave 685,000 AR-15s to the Taliban.
15 Black Hawks.
You know, it's just Humvees. You know, I mean, we just on
M4s, M16s, ACOGs,
F-15s.
We left helicopters, choppers.
Yeah, Blackhawks. Get your information correct before you start putting your input in. I don't do an airstrike drop or anything like that. We've left them with so much. It's absolutely insanity.
You think they're selling it to China?
Have you not seen it on Craigslist? They're selling. They have Craigslist ads selling Humvees.
I wonder what the shipping cost would be from Afghanistan. Well,
I've honestly thought about going to go get a ticket so I can get a Black Hawk. Just fly over there,
hire
real
a
quick
pilot,
and then ship it back. Yeah.
Hey, the way I look at it, you know, I've paid taxes for I don't know, 30-something years now, going on 30 years. I paid taxes, and the government's never given me one AR-15 or a Black Hawk helicopter. So I'm thinking,
What'd you call it?
a Black Hawk helicopter.
Okay, I thought you said Black Op.
No. Well, it's used for Black Ops.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's something Bo would say.
You ever been on a boat and had the customs Black Hawk come down on you in the middle of the night?
You ever been on a boat where the hangar's right next to your wall?
No.
All right, then. I rest my case.
I wasn't in the military.
Yeah,
but it scares the shit out of you when you're not. I mean, you expected it. You were on base.
About that BS.
I mean, you were on base. I mean, I was on a boat.
I wasn't on base. I was on a boat.
Yeah, but you said it was parked next to you.
Hold on.
The
You want
hangar
us to
was
do
next
the
to
wave
it.
for you or what? Here, let's do the wave for you.
I see your titties flapping when you do that.
And my belly, too.
But I mean, when you look at it, no matter what, he should have took charge of the situation. If he felt it wasn't right, and morally it wasn't right with what we did, he should have fixed it. And you know what? We're cowering to the Taliban. The thing is this. We pulled out all of our combat troops, and we left 2,500, mainly civilians there. But this is where it really hurt. When we pulled our air strike capabilities out of Afghanistan, and we left those frontline soldiers out there, we were keeping them at bay with what we were doing, and when we stopped that, the Afghan army didn't have a chance.
All right, now what about? I just want to throw this in there because I know we've all been on Facebook. We've all seen the pictures of the Marines holding the infants and hauling the infants over the wall and everything like that. Do you feel that is a dereliction of duty at that point, or do you feel that is for the greater kind? That's my question towards both of you.
What are you talking about as far as dereliction of duty?
Pulling the babies up and carrying.
Okay, but hold on. You're in the Marines. Tell me where a dereliction.
I mean, if you got somebody who's trying to flee the Taliban because they literally behead people in the street. If you hold your fucking infant kid up to me, and I know I can get that kid out and safe, I'm going to.
Okay.
Well, hold on, but where is the dereliction of duty? You threw that word up there. How is that a dereliction?
No,
of
I
duty?
just want to know your opinion on it first, and then I'll tell you what it is.
I think it's sad. I think it's sad that we have to have the Marines doing that because it's not their job, but at least they're doing it. I don't see a dereliction of duty. You might do because in the Constitution of whatever the Marines are for.
So I see a dereliction of duty, but I see it as a right doing. I really do. Because so when you take the oath of enlistment, right, you're sworn to protect all you're sworn to protect United States of America against all enemies, foreign or domestic. Right? And so when you're over there, you don't know who's a terrorist, right? I mean, you kind of do, but you kind of don't, right? It's because they can sneak into the crowd at the airport and try and get on, and then you blow up a C-130 and there's
strap a bomb to a baby. And
exactly.
Here you go. Have a nice day.
So, but I feel it's for the greater of mankind to assert yourself and take that position to help infants and everything like that. Like my family. My mom and my dad signed a thing to take in a refugee, like an infant from Afghanistan recently, like within the past week, just to help out as much as they could, and that's what I feel is very important. Compared to at that point, you're not protecting the greater good for America. You're protecting human rights. At that point.
But isn't that what Marines are supposed to do?
Your oath is to the United States of America.
Right, but it's also to help
anybody else. That's
so
NATO.
No, but it's also, I don't know. I really don't care. I mean,
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
It's not. Listen, it's not an American soldier's oath.
How do you
to
raise
America.
this chair down?
You gotta.
Raise it like a little bit. Keep going.
You can't turn around and do that for yourself. There you go.
No, I cannot because my feet are this way. The thing's back here. Like I'm not. Can you go like a little bit more?
Go a little bit more down.
I don't know what's going on over there, but I think I'm.
There we go.
Right
All
here.
right, cool. We are set. We are in. We are in, boys.
Okay.
Come on, you guys missed the podcast now. Come on.
That was a dereliction of duty.
You guys missed the podcast now. Come on.
No. So, when we're talking about Afghanistan, there's a lot of things you should have. There's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. But the problem is that you're the president of the United States.
Yeah.
You're the commander in chief. All right, and you surround yourself, or you're supposed to surround yourself, with the brightest people we have to offer in order to make your decisions as far as this country goes. And there is no way that anybody can sit there and tell me right now that since he's been in office, he's made any good decisions for our country.
Okay, so I thought you were going to go a completely different way with that, and I was prepared to just be like, cow, but...
Let's touch on that for a minute.
Wait.
Which way?
So I thought you were going to say, because he's a president of the United States of America, we should be able to do what we need to do in Afghanistan, right? That's the way I thought you were going to go.
No, when it comes to protecting human life and our citizens, we need to do what we need to do.
Well, yeah, so I thought you were going to step it up and, go we
full
need to protect another
invasion,
country
building, no.
Well, but I also want to say our president isn't God. So we do not have direct ownership over every aspect, every land, every, United States of America president does not have any control over the whole entire world. So
but we had
that's
control
what I
over
was prepared
Afghanistan.
to go. That's where I was prepared to go and, just shove, elbow deep inside you. But we'll continue with your way.
But hold on for a sec. Why would you think that? Why would you think that he would do that?
I thought he was going to say,
No,
hold on, listen. Hey, sweetheart, please, just listen to me, please.
Sweetheart. I ain't going down on you, that's for sure. Not like GJ did over there.
Okay, so.
Did you ever say that I went down on anybody ever again?
I'm
right.
sorry.
So what I thought was going to go is because he said, the President of the United States, we control our troops in Afghanistan, and we essentially trained the Afghan army.
But you know what you're starting to sound like? You're starting to sound like one of those socialist liberals that preach the same thing.
You know what you're starting to sound like? Bag of dicks.
Bag of dicks.
Joey.
No. So
Joey bag of dicks.
What I thought?
No,
because I'm saying this is what I thought he was going to say. Because he is the president of the United States, he has control of our troops. I would really appreciate it if you put your headphones back on. But because he thought, what I thought he was going to say is, we trained 90% of the Afghan army. Why not do what we need to do in Afghanistan? That's what I thought he was going to say.
No, because
I'm not going socialist with this shit. I'm not Bernie Sanders over here. Calm down.
No. We should. I mean, listen. And this is probably the only time you're ever going to hear me say anything positive about Joe Biden, and it's not really positive. I just agree with something he said, and that is the United States should not be in there fighting a war.
That's not ours.
If the people themselves won't fight for their own country.
But you got to think. But hold on, let me just say this: how much money have we spent over there?
$2 trillion.
Yes.
And where did all that money go to?
Afghans, women's studies.
No, but I'm talking
brothels.
About through the Bush administration all the way to Biden right now.
That's where the $2 trillion. I want you to learn. Hold on, let's count. 1, 2,
but where did
and
all
then
that
20
money
years.
Go? Where did all that money go?
Brothels, weapons development, fucking government contracts. Because who makes money during a war?
Private business, Boeing.
Oh, military. The
the military-industrial complex.
Not just the military.
Oh no,
complex.
electrical. I mean, look at
you have a textile facility that can sit there and make uniforms.
Hey, check this out. Dick Cheney, Halliburton, who was contracted to rebuild Iraq after we went in there. Halliburton. So when you look at it, there's.
No, I'm good.
There's a lot of money in war. A lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of money going here. Now this is the thing. The Russians went into Afghanistan, got their ass kicked. We went in there, and we just bailed and gave up. So what do you think is going to happen next?
After 20 years.
But what do you think after 20 years? Yeah, and $2 trillion and 2,000 American souls lost?
So let me ask you this, though. The Chinese march in there. Could be a possibility because the Chinese, they're...
Aren't
the Chinese and Russia siding with Afghanistan?
They're siding with the Taliban.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think that the Taliban really planned this insurgents from the south up by themselves? You do know that the leader of the Taliban met with Vladimir Putin a month before this happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they were also And you want to talk about the other thing was, of course, Biden
That's
had to
how it
eat his
became
own.
so coordinated like it did, and that's
Absolutely.
how everything failed. So
Well, if you've seen the pictures from when the Taliban first took over, like all their fingers are on the trigger, right? You've
Yeah,
seen this
yeah,
picture,
the way-
and it's like the CIA trade. It's like finger off the trigger. Don't point at anything you don't plan to shoot or kill.
Who was trained by our special forces, and you're all sitting off the trigger guard. So it's it's a shame. It really is. But I think you're going to see China probably go in there.
But do you think this is all about poppy seeds too, or poppy? Remember?
Nope. Nope.
It's about oil.
What this is about is religious and oil.
Yeah.
So what we originally went in there was a religious war, and what it's become now is
Money and power.
exactly.
But basically, that's all it's all about. Democrats and Republicans, and I'm going to say this again: it's all tit for tat. When Trump got into office, he pissed off the liberals as bad as he could, and when they elected it into the Congress.
Hold on. Can I stop you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said Democrats and Republicans, and now you're talking about liberals.
They're Democrat liberals. Okay, whatever.
I just want you to be politically correct.
Politically correct.
I know it's a hard thing to fathom, but
I'm going to hit this pin again and think about that one for a second. But my point is, what were we talking about? I'm just messing with you.
No, you're not.
Peyote's hitting real hard right now.
Why?
It's about the money and power. But the last 4 years of Obama, the 4 years of Trump.
What are we in?
Biden,
210 days, 211 days in?
Right. But my point is, it's all tit for tat. Everything's pissed. They're sitting there trying to hit each other, trying to get the votes where one can control or the other can control, right? I mean, let's be for real here.
So you think this whole thing is a pissing match?
I think it's a pissing match. I mean, the Afghanistan thing, we went over there, got bin Laden. We should have just pulled out instead of trying to build a country rebuilding or doing whatever.
We did not go to Afghanistan to get bin Laden. First off,
but no, they went there to take care of the Taliban because
we went to Afghanistan to get Saddam Hussein.
He's in Iraq. Duh.
We actually went into Afghanistan chasing down Al Qaeda leaders because the Taliban were harboring Al Qaeda members because that's where they originated from. That's where they were allowed to grow. The Taliban was allowing Al Qaeda to bring in their training or their supercells in training camps and stuff like that.
That's what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. We were there. We were there to chase down bin Laden and get the lead members of Taliban. We basically stomped out Al Qaeda and we pushed back the Taliban. But now the Taliban's back. And you know who I really feel for? I feel for the kids that were born in the last 10 years living there. They heard about the Taliban, but they've never lived under the Taliban rule. And for those that can't get out, that's going to be.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you actually think bin Laden's dead?
I don't know. They dumped his body off a boat somewhere in the middle of the sea in the middle of the night.
You think they might have put him in a raft and said, here's some oars and have a good day? You know what I mean?
I think now, if you want to be conspiracy, let's go down this rabbit hole for a second. So if we go down this rabbit hole, think about it. They go in the middle of the night. They shoot the guy. They bring him on a boat, and they go, shit, it's the wrong guy. So, fuck, what are we going to do? Let's dump his body, and we'll bury him at sea in the middle of the ocean where nobody can find it. Nobody can say we fucked up.
You think they're plugging patches all over him with the beard?
Hair plugs?
Meanwhile, he's being...
Soldier, get out of here. Let me shave your head. We got to make this look like
now,
bin Laden here.
If they did get... Now, I wouldn't be opposed to the fact that they lied about killing him. Just as long as they had him in some deep, dark dungeon cell, waterboarding him every day.
Where's the pictures at?
No, of course you can't take pictures of that, man.
That's just like saying Elvis is still alive or Kurt Cobain's not.
What
Kurt
about
Cobain,
Hitler
Shakur,
living in Brazil?
Actually, Argentina.
Wow.
Who?
Yeah.
Hitler, Adolf Hitler.
There's a lot of.
Did you miss that day in school?
You need to watch History Channel a little bit more too, because they just did a big special on that about how they actually developed a town down there in Argentina. They looked exactly because the mountains and everything reminded Hitler of his home up in. Was it not the Netherlands? Where was it at? In Swiss Alps or something?
But also they found ruins of buildings with German markings on them.
Oh, they had German gun post on certain points of this channel, of this bay that we're up there, so they can shoot anybody coming in. And they had a house that was Hitler's house. It was like his summer vacation house there that he would go to, or winter vacation house.
See, I was good at history,
What, 1923?
but it doesn't matter. I guess here's the thing again. If you look at our country and the way it's being ran, are you really surprised about how Afghanistan withdrawal went?
I wouldn't.
I mean,
no,
honestly.
not right now. Not with who we've got in charge up there. I mean, you got
But I mean, does it? But you
Joe
look how-
don't know.
But you look how America's being ran right now, and then we go over to Afghanistan because Trump signed this agreement or whatever. And next thing you know, Joe Biden slashes a bunch of the stuff, and then he's like, "You know what? We're going to keep this thing going and blame it on Donald Trump the way this
Hey,
goes."
look. Let me ask you something. Why do you think he's so hell bent on the date, not trying to push back? A magician never shows you his hand and sleight of hand. So what has nobody been talking about lately since this Afghan shit over the last week?
I don't know what is
The
it?
southern border.
And also, what else? What's coming up in January? Or no, November.
No. Well, it starts election season in November.
Midterms.
Well, it starts the season. We vote in 2022, so we got a year from November before the actual vote. But that's when the
But there's 2
the
or 3
election
seats.
cycle starts.
There's 3 or 4 seats up this year, aren't there?
Well,
There's
Florida,
more than 3 or 4 seats,
actually,
buddy.
Is
there
there
are
more?
some states. There are some states that lost.
I think there's 15 seats up right now.
Because there's.
That's right. Republicans should take it and take the lead back in the Congress.
But Florida, because the amount of people that moved to Florida and Texas, we each gained 2 representatives, and I think California lost a representative. New York lost a representative. That's good for us.
I don't know. I mean,
Let's put it this way: if you had to worry about a United States senator or congressperson, or if you wanted the balance of power to shift, would you rather that vote be coming out of New York or Florida?
that's why Nancy Pelosi's pushing the $1 trillion bill and all that stuff right now. So
She's trying to get it through because she knows that she's going to lose the House and she's going to lose the Senate.
But think about this, though. All that stuff in the bill, does that help the Democrats out?
It gets them their wish list for all their new Green Deal shit.
Well, beside the Green Deal.
But this thing, I will give credit where credit is due, because I think there's something like 9 Democrats in the House that are actually opposed to the $3.5 trillion deal.
For the Green Deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not called the new Green Deal, but
But what's the $1 trillion deal, though? That
1.5 was the infrastructure bill.
I'm just saying, I got 10% of battery left, so we got to run this down real quick because
What's
we're
your
already
final
at
thoughts, Andy?
34 minutes.
What's your final thought?
No, final thought. I mean, don't get blinded by the sleight of hand. Pay attention to what's going on globally and follow the money.
Matt?
We've had 210,000 people come in from the southern border while all this Afghanistan bullshit's going on.
That's just in 1 month. Not vetted, not vaccinated, not even tested, just thrown out into our communities. And they're busing them and flying them in from the airports and dropping them off in states near you.
Pay attention. What about you?
I think my final thought is this. We got to start looking in the center of everything. Both sides are pushing for power and money. I don't think we have enough independent people out there to run. I think we need more independent people. I mean, I just look at the Republicans. I don't hate the Republicans, but I don't like what I've seen coming out of them for a long time. You know what I mean? In the last couple of years, they have really let the American people down, just like in the 2008 election and the 2012 election. You know what I mean? Putting moronic people for our president that they thought we would just vote for. And then, of course, we showed them with Trump, and that pissed the people off. And now look at us. We got socialism. And they're not even socialisms. They're warp speeding us right towards communism. That's basically what they are. And if you listen to Biden's speech earlier, our country's in a lot of trouble, man. It's scary. It's scary what's coming down the road if we all don't stand up.
We've lost the respect of the world.
Yeah, but we all have to stand up. We have been too complacent with this whole thing. And not enough people are standing up and saying enough is enough, and we should be making those politicians hear our voices and saying no more. Stop the BS. Everybody have a great night. Come visit us at AmericanCivilDebate.com. It's our social media website where you can go and you can post. You can start groups. You can friend people. You can do a lot of familiar things. Come visit us at AmericanCivilDebate.com. And we also have a phone app being developed, so hopefully y'all will be able to test that out and give us some highlights back and what you think and what we can do better. Everybody enjoy your night. Have a great Tuesday night. Thank you.